So
right,
here's an interesting one that I think applies to people. This came up with, I brought this up to my accountant. So from my understanding is, man, I'm going to butcher this and you correct me. But, I have 4 kids. If they do work for me, so they do clean outs for me, they do the mail, like they put in a few hours here and there, right? Up
yeah.
to whatever the number is, you can pay them. And if it's under a certain threshold, then, you're paying them. They're not paying. It's an expense to you, but they're not paying tax on it. You can put it directly into an IRA, a Roth or an IRA or something and help them down the road. And, it's a little bit to save on taxes. My understanding though was you actually need to be set up in payroll, and there's a few things stopping me from doing it. But can you back us out of my rambling and talk through this?
So what that is, someone like you who, their kids do a little help here and there. That is a way to shift income, from the taxpayer to their kids, where if you make under $12,000 a year, you don't pay tax on it. So
let's say I pay my kids $5,000 total, right? Or I give them each $1,000. There's 4 of them.
Now I know I have 4 kids.
The one thing to watch out for though is, say someone's saying my 3-year-old is modeling in the apartment when you take pictures. You have to be able to prove that your kid was actually doing the work and that is the going rate for whatever they were doing.
Got it.
You can't say my kid was sweeping and I paid him $10,000, because then you got to show, hey, this guy offered to sweep, but so it is something that you can do and what we have done, but you just have to be careful not to just say, I paid my kids, all 4 of them, $11,999. And they all just swept and cleaned apartments for me, because you're gonna have a tough time proving that if you ever, get called on it.
So 12,000.
Go ahead, Mark.
12,000 is the number. Where does that? Where do you have to put it to, or how do you pay them?
It's the max.
Yeah.
What are you doing with that money? You said something about putting in a Roth. So you're taking and paying it to them through a Roth, you said?
Well, for a Roth, you have to show that you have income. So they would most likely W-2 his kids. And so then you can set up a Roth like that.
So the money basically becomes tax-free at that point.
Gotcha.
Right. I get to write off as an expense to the business, but they don't have to pay income on what they earned. And then we can defer it by putting it into a Roth. But again, it has to be legit wages. The number's not $12,000. It's between all 4 of them, it's a total of $800, right? Because
you're gonna, yeah.
And then by the time I do all the paperwork and all the BS around it, I'm just netting zero and wasting a lot of time.
For teenagers who help out at the office, or you're gonna be pretty hard up to find a job that's a 6-year-old can do that you would pay him $10,000 for it.
Got it. But when you have, someone like you said, a teenager helping with the phones or whatever, all of a sudden this, summer job, they come in and bang out 3 months of work. This becomes something that people should have on their radar. This is applicable to somebody listening. Yeah,
it definitely is. I'm sure people out there listening are actually doing it right now, but this is something that you should definitely talk to your tax advisor about before, taking it on. Definitely talk to them.